We're in. I think we're in now. Cool. Guys, welcome one, welcome all. Sorry if you are dealing with the snow like us three are. A couple of New York people here, but we're joined today by Tiffany from Survivor 41, continuing our series of talking to the contestants that we've been watching on Instagram and watching their season and analyzing and dissecting. It's very fun to be talking to you guys. So, Tiffany, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Hi, Adam and Gideon. I'm
How
so
bad?
glad that you guys loved me the most.
Yeah.
And that before this podcast, you said that I was your favorite.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
That never happens. Never happens. Well, just make sure that they know it never happens.
How bad? How bad? So, how far are you? Because we're in New York City. How far away are you from the city, and how bad are you getting the snow right now?
So we are hit pretty hard. We're definitely. I mean, we have to be at a foot by now. Yeah, it's pretty bad. My husband's out there shoveling. It's pretty bad, and it's still coming. So we're about, if I take the Long Island Railroad, I'm in the city in about 30 minutes. I work in Queens, so it's a 10-15 minute commute for me, which is great. I'm first stop on the Long Island Railroad. So we're pretty close. I mean, if you drive, it'll take 2 hours, but if you take public transportation, I can get to you guys pretty quick. So we're getting hit pretty hard. How bad is it there? I thought it was going to miss the Queens border, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't know how Gideon can talk about Harlem, but in Brooklyn, it's pretty bad. I was going to the gym this morning and lost all feeling in my face. Just 4-minute walk. That's all it took. It was slipping, and like the snow is probably a foot. I felt like I was telling my roommate who I went with, it felt like a blind person had walked before me, because you know how like when you're walking, you follow the tracks of the person before you. Instead of them being like this, they were like crisscross, and I was like, who was walking down here? But I don't know how bad.
Avoiding the wind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How bad is Harlem, Gideon?
I mean, I didn't even try to go to the gym this morning, Adam. Like, I didn't even want to, but I don't have anything to go by because I've only been living here not even a year. And I mean, in Tennessee, the most snow we had ever gotten is like, I don't know, like 4 inches, like literally nothing.
That's
so
it.
So literally all night.
I would go to school in 4 inches. I'm from Pittsburgh originally. But so 4 inches is like, I'd go to school in 4 inches.
I was like a little kid last night. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much snow. So I was pretty stoked. But yeah, I don't want to go outside right now.
It is my favorite. It is my favorite. Everybody knows that I love snow and I love to be snowed in. I've already made a lasagna. I ran downstairs on my treadmill because I did work out, but I did it downstairs in my house. I didn't leave. And I love it. It gives me an excuse to not have to do anything. And I feel so like no pressure to like, because it's the weekend, go out. It's just like, you have no choice. You have to stay home. So I'm cool with that. I love that.
I mean, I bet especially as a teacher, because I know growing up with 2 teachers as my parents, snow days, very rare in Tennessee, but still a great day.
You would think that would be what we love, but we don't love when we get a snow day on a Saturday. That is like,
yes,
it is so obnoxious.
Yes.
It's like, really, it had to come perfectly on a Friday night right after work stops, and it's like, okay, now we can snow so that you all have to go to work. And to make things even worse, now we don't even get snow days because we can do Google Classroom. So now it's like, oh, you have a snow day, but you have to work. Thanks, pandemic. So like, we don't get a break like that, but I'm not complaining. I do love my job, and it has its perks. So I'm really not complaining. But
fair enough.
Gideon, have you ever had a snow day in Tennessee?
Okay. So it's funny thing is, because we don't get snow in Tennessee, like I think the superintendents in Tennessee want the snow days like just so bad that even just a little bit of sleet, they'll be like, well, there's ice, so we're just gonna cancel. Like there was a snow day a few weeks ago at our place. It literally snowed about 1 inch. It was like barely anything. But it's still enough. Like almost every county was shut down in Tennessee over like an inch of snow and some sleet.
Yeah. When you're not used to it, it's like a little snow and that's it. My son's in Michigan. And he's like, Mom, we get this every day. Right. So I'm like, yeah, I know. But We don't. So, when we get a lot of snow, it shuts everything down. You can't even go to the grocery store. There's not as bread to be found. There's no milk. It's as if you think it's like we're never getting out of our houses for like the next 2 months. I've never seen anything like it. I couldn't even get my medication yesterday at CVS because the line was out the door. It's a snowstorm, people. We're going to get out again. Like, it's going to be gone in like a day and life will resume. But, I don't know. We have I think some of these people here are a little pandemic PTSD and they're thinking that, we're done. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not. But
I'm embarrassed. I was one of the milk and bread people yesterday.
Okay. Don't be no, I'm not shaming them.
I'm just scared. I'm not scared. I did need milk anyways. So
all right. Well, I'm not shaming you, Gideon. I'm not shaming you. It's all good. You've got to be prepared. Tiffany goes and gets like brownie mix and chocolate and like really bad stuff. I was telling Voce today because I was so upset. I decided it would be a really good idea to like not get on the scale for a while because I was sick of like worrying about. I was like, I'm going to have a really healthy mindset. All right. I'm just going to work out. I'm not going to go on the scale. That was a really bad idea. So this morning I'm like, I feel great. Let me go on the scale. And I did not like what I saw. So Voce had to like really talk me off the cliff and be like, listen, don't go on the scale. It's not about the scale. I was like, listen, all right, this is not a good scene for me. Did you see me on that balance beam? That is horrific. And I am forever scarred. And so now I have to like, just make sure I'm in full great shape, just in case they call me in 24 hours for any TV thing. So, but with that, I made a lasagna right after that. I did run. I ran 3 miles. While watching, nice. I don't know if you guys are watching Archive 81, but I'm watching it.
Okay.
And it is a little bit scary. And I'm in my basement, like running and watching this at the same time, thinking this is probably not a great idea because it's that type of show that like makes you jump out of nowhere. And, I'm like, this is really a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Is that Archive 81?
Oh, yes.
Stop it.
I was on the I worked on it. They shot in Pittsburgh.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was really, really cool experience.
Oh my God. I am like obsessed with it and I can't stop watching. Yeah. And great. It's just not a great show to watch when you're like by yourself in a basement. And I'm like, this is not a great idea. And like these guys are jumping out in a red jacket in the middle of the forest. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me finish this off. I'm gonna watch this on the train. But so that's what I was doing. And yes, I worked out, but then I made a lasagna. So, right. Not the best idea, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Hey, I was wondering, how do, like when they announce like 2-hour delays or like closings, do they like have a new, like, do they text or they're like alerts now? Because I remember when I was growing up, you had to like,
watch the news.
You would get up early and watch the news and there was like a little ticker at the bottom.
Yeah.
5 a.m. You were like, are we closed? Are we closed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, now we get an alert. Usually they're making, they call it the night before, which I think is really, really, really dumb because they really, lately they'll say we're getting a huge storm and we get like 2 inches. And, so we have plenty of school text messages that the U of T sends out. So, I mean, there's plenty of ways to tell us, but, they like to call it the night before. And, so yeah, but luckily, it's a Saturday, so we don't get anything.
Yeah, in Tennessee, they do a call. They call.
Well, nice. And it depends what town you're in, right? So if you have a town of like 30 people, they can call you individually and say stay home. Here, it's just a lot of kids. A lot of kids have to eat, so that's really the bigger problem.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the story. I'm sorry. I have to wear my glasses. I hate not seeing you guys. It's so annoying. Okay.
I got you. I'm the same way. All right, cool. Now that we've got the snow talk out of the way, we can get to the important questions. The first one being, who has better pizza between Long Island and Manhattan?
Oof. Okay, I'm gonna say Manhattan for sure.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's well, that's Huntington, but that's originally, there's Roses, which is originally like a Queen's place that's in Huntington, so they're good. But I would have to say Manhattan has like my favorite slice.
Okay.
And all the old pizzerias that I frequent. So I'd say Manhattan. I definitely would say Manhattan. There are many in Manhattan, but I'm gonna go with Manhattan over Long Island, 100%.
Okay.
I don't
Have
know
you
about
ever?
Queens though. You didn't say Queens, and
Mm,
we
okay.
might be able to rival a little bit. No, but my favorite is the one that my husband and I go to in Connecticut that has a clam pizza. What the heck is the name of it? Oh my God, it's escaping me. But it's all over my Instagram. I can't remember the name. It's old lady stuff.
Okay.
But yeah.
Have
So I'm
Have
gonna
you
go
ever
with
been?
Manhattan.
Have you ever been to John's of Bleecker Street?
Oh gosh, here it is. Here we go.
Maybe.
Okay.
Is it
It's
the one
very.
that has a crazy line even at like 11 o'clock at night at the door?
Probably.
Do people know
Uh,
it?
it's probably not because I think they close at like 9. They close kind of early, so it might not be that one.
Okay,
It's a
it's not that
sit
one.
down place. It's not like by the slice. You have to buy like a whole pie, and it's more of a restaurant. I mean, you could take it to go, but most people sit down. But it is coal fired, which is like illegal now in New York City. But
Because of the old, yep.
right, but because they built that building around the coal fire oven. So if they shut down the coal fire oven, there's like the building, there's like no point. So I guess New York gave them an exception. So they're like the only coal fire
Okay,
pizza
well,
place in the city left.
so that will be my next stop, clearly.
Yeah,
Very good.
Adam recommended it to me when I first got to New York, and it's not the best pizza I've ever had. He told me it's gonna be the best pizza I've ever had, but it was good. It's the best I've had in New York.
Is it? Because
Yeah.
it's different. Coal fire is very different. Like it's a chewy kind of thin. I love the texture of it. So that's that's what when you're going for a coal fire, you cannot compare a coal fire pizza to a regular like New York slice. It doesn't work. They're very different. We are foodies in this house, clearly. And I've been looking at all the different places that I'm going to go eat next, but now I have to put that on my list. So thank you. When I told you I didn't like the number I saw on the scale today, but also I don't really care. So I'll put that on my list, and I'm going to get back to you on that. And if I don't like it, then you're going to have to try a place that I say.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last like non-survivor question I had for you is just this question might make no sense. It's either going to be like it's either going to make a lot of sense or no sense at all. I have one friend that grew up in Long Island, and I was like, hey, I'm talking to someone from Long Island today. Give me a question that like people from Long Island wouldn't know, but she might know.
Go ahead.
He said to ask if your first concert was at Jones Beach. Does that make any sense?
Of course. My first concert, I would say, was it at Jones Beach? I've been to a lot at Jones Beach, but
okay.
I don't know if my first concert was at Jones Beach. You know what? I don't remember my first concert.
Okay.
But yes, I know Jones Beach.
Actually,
and yes, I go to concerts there a lot.
Okay.
That's, an outdoor venue. It's we all know it in Long Island. So yeah. But it was not my first concert. But remember, tell your friends, I was not born and raised in Long Island. I'm a Queens girl. So more likely I went to like City Field and saw like, some rock band there first. Maybe.
Right.
Or maybe Manhattan, maybe Madison Square Garden was probably my first.
Okay.
If I had to guess. I'm surprised that wasn't a bagel question, but okay. It's usually a bagel question.
Okay. Is Long Island known for their bagels?
Well, Long Island has a lot of people who like bagels, and then there's like the Bagel Boss and all different places that people go, and especially my town, it's like, which one do you go to? And I get this question a lot, and so I thought that it might be a bagel question, but I'm good without. I'm good having it be a concert question. But
okay.
Yes, I think Madison Square Garden would be my first, and I think maybe it was Billy Joel.
Nice.
If I had to guess.
Good taste.
Thank you.
That's a cool one. I'm seeing Billy in Madison Square Garden later this year.
Did he cancel that?
Oh no. I know Elton John canceled. I thought Billy Joel's was still, unless it was a recent.
Oh yeah, it was. I think it was maybe yeah. No, it's not recent. It was. I know something was canceled recently. I'm still waiting. I bought us tickets to see the Gypsy Kings in Paramount in Huntington. It's a small venue, and we love the Gypsy Kings. So I had, I bought these tickets, whatever. They canceled it because of pandemic. This was recently, like the new surge canceled it. And I just found out now it's not till May. So yeah, like buying tickets now, it's really one of those things where like you buy it and you're like, not sure if it's really going to happen. And now you're like prisoner to them. And when they decide the show is going to be, because you couldn't get your money back for whatever reason. I think I bought it third party, Vivid or something like that, but whatever. But yeah. Billy Joel is next on my list.
Yeah. My first was Backstreet Boys as a kid.
Oh, no way. My husband loves them.
Nice.
I make fun of him so much. He's like, oh, the Backstreet Boys. I'm like, oh, God, really? Like that and 90210. Okay, those are the things that he loves the most.
Good taste
okay,
right there.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that on live. That's embarrassing, right? Sorry, Steve. I'm pre-apologizing to my husband. I'm gonna have to go on the apology tour after this anyway. So
all good. We wanted to show you. So before we started doing recaps, because we did like a weekly recap for season 41. Before that, we did like a cast assessment, and what we did was we did like a fantasy draft. So we snaked back and forth. Like I did a pick, Gideon did a pick. And we built 2 teams of, I guess, 9. And the point was just to have the winner on your team.
Okay.
So I was going to pull up our teams just so you could see. So you were the first female. We did male, then female, then male. So you were the first female contestant picked. I believe my team. I think you're on my team. So
that means you like me better. It's okay, yes. Gideon. Gideon, I'm really okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Everybody we have interviewed has been on Adam's team. Nobody on my team will come on for an interview.
Well, you better start rethinking who you like.
I like everybody.
Sure, that's what they all say.
I like everyone.
I'm
a big fan.
I know Voce was on your team.
Yeah, Voce. We'll get Voce tomorrow. He was my first male or second male pick.
Well, we'll never know, will we?
Chrome has
we'll never know.
No, tell me Chrome has lost permission to share my screen. I'm gonna have to pull it up later on. But essentially, you were the first 2 picks were Gideon did Deshaun, I did Ricard. So then I had the first pick in the next round. So I did you, and then Gideon picked Sarah was his first female pick.
Oh, I love Sarah.
Yes, Sarah was our first interview. She was our first one of the season.
Yeah, she's a great kid. She's a great girl. She's not a kid. She's not a kid, but she's just, to me, she's a kid, but she's not.
Yeah.
I spoke to her yesterday. Yeah. Super close with her. Love her.
Nice.
Well, Gideon, you got 2 pretty bad choices for your first 2.
So I think I had like, out of every podcast that does these fantasy drafts, I think my team was the worst performing, like out of every single team, like every single pick. I'm pretty sure, like, by the merge, I only had, like, 2 players left.
Yeah.
Like, I had picked everybody wrong. Anyways,
that's usually my life, so.
But, Adam had good points about you being a teacher. Thinking back, I was like, teachers always do well, He
I heard you guys. I think I listened because before they drop the cast and after they drop the cast and before it's out, you're listening to everything to hear what people say. And my favorite one was when someone's like, oh, she's going to be the mom. I'm so not the mom type. I'm more of like a friend. I was like, yeah, that was not good. Like, she's going to be like the mom. I'm like, no, I'm outrageous. And I'm like, I don't think I have mom energy like that. I mean, I'm clearly a Long Island mom. That's what a lot of people identified with that. But like more of like being able to just kind of socially be friends with everybody. Age is never really a thing for me. I have friends that are older and much younger. And it's like, so I loved listening to what people said. And I think I do remember you saying she's a teacher and they usually do well and they can like sort of, navigate socially and yeah, so I did listen. I'm not going to lie. I listened.
Nice.
But I appreciate that, Adam. And Gideon, you're starting to come around on you a little bit.
Okay. That's fair.
Is that fair?
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Gideon, you had Sarah. So you've had one person we've talked to so far.
I know. I did have Sarah. So
I had Erica. That was so I won. I won the game.
Oh, you
Even
had
though
Erica.
even though she
Nice.
was like my last pick.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
So
last, save the best for last.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was sleeping on her at the beginning because, you know, when all the preseason interviews came out, like Ricard said a lot, you had said a lot, Voce had said a lot, and like we just hadn't really heard a lot from Erica. So we were like, you know, what do we have to go off of?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, it's funny how this stuff works. I mean, like I now having played, you know, and seeing what really, you know, how it really works out there, which is, to be fair, it's very, you're seeing everything except the edit can be just depending on what they want to show and the story that they're trying to build. I still to this day don't know how they do it because they have hours and hours and hours of tape. It's actually unbelievable to think that they're able to, you know, get all these moments in and design a story. It's really, I mean, it's an art. That's insane, like that they can do that. But that being said, you know, you sign your life away when you go to these shows and you have no control over what they're going to show and how they're going to make you look. And you have to be okay with it, you know? And some people are better at being okay with it than others. And what I've learned and what I see is that, you know, this is a game where you really want to, when you want a winner pick, you want to pick somebody that like played the game and you want to like play the game in a way that people are going to respect and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I'm starting more and more and more to really lean towards the idea that like social is almost everything in this game. You have to like get yourself like there, but socially, if you're not like really tight and liked socially by everybody, it's super hard to win because you get very, when you're out there, you're in this little world and perception is reality and you think you know these people and it's only like 20 something days, right? And if you were with these people for 5 or 4 days, you were lucky. Besides being on Yasa and knowing everybody on Yasa, so having a really good feel for who was on my team and what they're really like. And you know, getting to the end is super difficult because there's so many different things that are playing into it, right? Some is luck, blind luck, especially this season. There was like, I mean, look at my draws. Every time I did a rock draw, it was all women and one guy on these crazy challenges. You know, I never ate. It was super like by will that we even were able to finish that merge challenge with that crazy ball. And that I didn't kill myself doing that, but that's another story. Because it was serious. It was serious. And I'm starting to really wonder like how I wonder here. So this is going to be my hot take. I wonder what it would be like if we didn't vote until like finale, like wait 4 months for the show to like be done and then like really see everything and be like, well, who played the better game, right? Obviously that's never going to happen because that's not how the game works. But you change so many times between watching the show and having left the island that I remember watching one episode and being like, what? Like, you're so blindsided sometimes by the edit and like what really may have taken place that you didn't get to see, that it like really messes with how you end up voting. But at the end of the day, like to this day, I can still say I voted for the right person as far as I'm concerned. So like, I don't know how much of it is, you know, did somebody play the best game or was it like you really just thought that person deserved it because of the type of person they were? It's weird. It's really weird. But I feel very confident in the, you know, in the choice that I made to vote Erica to win because she was, you know, she was one to beat. She was one to beat and she played a smart game. So, you know, but there's a lot of people out there that are not, you know, so pleased.
Yeah. Well, so now coming into Final Tribal, like how open would you say your vote was?
So this is a question that has been asked of me, and you see these people writing who think they know you and they know everything because they're like, you know, living on Discord and Reddit and everything else. But I was extremely open. It's $1 million. This is not like I'm giving you $10. Like I was very open and I knew what I wanted to see. I knew what I wanted to hear. I lived and experienced these people, and votes and moves were made, and I was very open to hearing things. And of course, some of the questions that were asked, never aired, and there were conversations that never aired. So there's a lot that the viewers are not seeing. But I was extremely open. And when people say that, like, we were bitter, like, no, we weren't. Like, I'm bitter that I didn't freaking win, but I'm not going to be bitter towards people in the game. Nobody really did anything to me. They played a game, and everyone falls back on this. Oh, you were just bitter. No, I wasn't bitter. I was actually super happy. I was freaking eating. I was happy as hell that I was eating. And I got to be like sitting in jury watching this in front of me, something that I watched on TV for 20 years. It was surreal. Like, I wasn't bitter at all. I was really, really open. And so, you're reading this as a game player, and I don't really tweet back often to people who have stupid things to say, but like, because it's just annoying and like it's not worth my time. But I think I was very, very open, and I was just listening to what everybody had to say and the conversation that was taking place around me. And again, the other thing that that I just want to clear up while I'm here. This is a podcast that runs itself, by the way, because I will talk all day. But I mean, I didn't mean to be obnoxious, but like, stop me if you need to stop me.
No, you're good.
But here's the thing, like, people are like, oh, they're not allowed to talk about it in Ponderosa. Let me clear this up. We are not allowed to say who we are voting for. We are allowed to discuss the moves that were made, because of course we are. They're coming off into Ponderosa, and everyone's just working out their feelings and trying to, make heads and tails of what just took place. And the natural thing is to have conversation about your experiences. That's what you do at Ponderosa, right? You need to take time and think about and process what just happened. So truthfully, yes, we're processing and we're listening and we're hearing, but we're not saying, oh, you need to vote for this person. Like, we're not allowed to do that. So no, I never discussed who I was voting for. Did I say to Evie, I think that Xander is going to take Erica? Because based on his moves, sure. But that doesn't mean vote for Erica or vote for Xander or don't vote. It's just a conversation. So yeah, we were having conversations about the game, but no, we were not allowed to say who we were voting for. So just to clear that up, because I know there's a lot of discussion about that. Like, how does she know what was happening when she wasn't there? Well, I was there through the people who were voted off and telling me what had happened and taken place from their perspective, of course. And you take that with a grain of salt. But you know that as a player that you're not going to hear there's the truth, there's what happened, and there's the other side. So it's like, you're listening, but you're smart enough as a player to know you're taking everything with a grain of salt. So, I was very open.
Well, so what exactly was it that you were looking for coming into Final Tribal?
So Final Tribal, if you're asking me, like, particularly who with who ended up sitting there, I was expecting Xander to take Heather. I wasn't expecting, and based on his gameplay and how he is as a human, he's a good human, and probably got a really good connection with Erica and felt like, and he was reading the jury, and I'm not sure that he has his backup for why he did it, and so I can't go against that, but I think the expectation was to take Heather, and I think for myself personally, having played with him personally, and him not making the moves that in my eyes would have made him make a big move or be viewed as making a big move, right? In my reality was that if he himself either went to fire or took Heather or showed me that he was somehow making a big move using an idol on Evie at some point, something to show that type of, I don't know, that awareness that you need to make a move, not one that's like one that is eye-rolly, as Evie said, that's a good word, instead of performative, that was not a good word. Then I think maybe I would have been more open to hearing him out, because I experienced him sort of just being like this non-threat because nobody was like voting him out. So that was my perception and my reality. And I was looking for him to do something that was going to give me the reason to say, okay, like now I see your game. I just didn't see it. And that was just me. Do I love the kid? He's an awesome kid. He's super smart. He's going to do great things and probably likely be out there again. I mean, in some form. But so that was when he took Erica, to me, that was like the nail in the coffin. I was like, okay, I just can't get behind this. I just couldn't. It was like, I just couldn't. As far as Deshaun, and why it wasn't him for me, he was very, very difficult to work with on the island. I love him as well. We're fine in real life. It's just, he knows I put his name down by default once, and he sort of tortured me about it. He just went, and I was like, but my name's been down a million times, and your name, you weren't going home. I just wasn't putting Evie's name down, and your friend Danny told me not to put Sydney's name down, so I didn't want to go against that, and you were by default. And it was just game over for him with me when that happened, and it was really rough, and he knows it. We've discussed it. So for Deshaun, like, I saw a lot of that tactic, and I did not respect it in the game. I also didn't really speak to him very much. It was sort of like, we're cool, we're good, yeah, we're good, and then it was like no more conversation. So I was not even in the mix with him. Although we did want to do myself, Sydney, Evie, Deshaun, Danny, and one more, and Xander. But Deshaun wasn't really on board with that at the time, and so you saw how that went. So so like, not bitter with him. I wasn't bitter. I just didn't respect his gameplay, period. Right. And I didn't see so much of it either. Like, he got that thing where he stayed in. I was like, whoa, like, so that's how I voted. Erica, I just saw a solid winning puzzles, winning individual immunities, kind of getting out of every situation. Like, either it was, a good move on her part, making really good alliances, kind of staying on the radar. I just saw her as far as those three, that was my decision, personal decision. I did not expect all the others to also go that way at all. And it did. So I guess that was really, it was a landslide, and it's kind of like, I guess I was thinking correctly, and everybody's perception in reality was similar. So how can you deny that? There's no going back and saying, well, I should have done this. So that's really where it stood for me. That was my personal, reason to have chosen Erica over everybody else.
Right. Do you remember if, like, during that final tribal, was there like an answer Erica gave, or like a moment or something she said, or maybe something Xander said that you didn't like? Like, was there a moment when you're like, okay, I'm voting for Erica?
I think it was really when he took her. I think that was like, if you would have seen the whole jury, it was like,
yeah, we saw a little bit of that.
Right. It was just because we had just talked to him about being unaware of something, and, reading the jury and not actually thinking about jury management through his game. Because, like, if I'm going out, and keep me as a number as long as you can, help me out a little bit, and then at least let me be your ally on jury. Like, you have to have some sort of like jury management and move making, that also the ability to like make moves that are respected and people still like you at the end. Like, I think, was I a threat physically? Challenges? No. Did I do well in the regular pre-merge challenges? I did. It was that one balance beam that sort of like killed me. And then it was like, hello, did you not see me, land bags and rings and open locks? And, I was fine in them. It was just that particular challenge that sucked for me. And at the end, if you talk to most of the people on the cast, I have very good relationships with all of them. They all love me. Danny said he would live with me for 2 months if he had to be stranded. Sydney and I laughed like crazy. Evie and I are super close. David Voce, who I voted off, is my best friend. Like, I'm clearly good at making relationships, and even voting you off and then loving me at the end. And that was always going to be my strength. And so, like, I just think you have to know that going in, that's super important. And so, I think that was the moment for me when he took her, and I was just like, oh God, that's rough for me, and I kind of knew it was coming. So just because I knew who he was, and not that he's, bad, it's just for his game, he might've thought it was perfect. It was a great move. It didn't play out, the way I'm sure he would have liked it to. And so that's where I went with it. But, it is what it is. It's a game. You make a move, you make a choice, and it is what it is. You can't go back on it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Xander's game was a roller coaster. And I think if anybody knows that, it would definitely be you and everybody at Yase, because you were there for the whole thing, including him not having his vote for how long? 4 tribal councils?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild.
So this is the argument that Voce and I always have, because he's like, how did you know that that idol wasn't going to be activated? Well, I didn't know, but I had 3 things to go on. Number 1 was based on what everybody was telling me this idol was, because remember, I didn't see it, right? So you see a little bit of the edit where I'm very confused, because Xander does talk in this like way where he would say something like butterflies are your dead relatives. It's not odd for him. He speaks really well, and he's super educated, and like he's an old soul. So he says things that not a regular 21-year-old would say. So that really didn't, I wasn't like, oh yeah, that's definitely it. Like, it was just like, okay, I know you're telling me that. I knew Evie had very strong relationships with everybody. I was letting her do that. I knew I was very close with her. And I also knew she wanted an all girls. And those were the things that I was going in with. She wants an all girls. We've already gotten rid of Abraham. Now it's just a matter of time, right? So when it came down to like, where was I and how did I stand? It was kind of like, well, I'm kind of good, even if we get down to 3. And then it's going to be like, is Evie going to want to take Liana or me? Right. So it wasn't like, first of all, not voting Xander out on that vote where I voted Voce out. In my head, I was like, we're losing, like seriously losing right now. So, okay, does it really matter if it's Xander or Voce? Xander has no vote anyway, so let's keep him in a little bit longer. I knew at that point that you had to get 2 more idols, and then everybody had to say it. And what was the chance that we were going to win the next time and at the same time or lose, right? And then everybody's going to find it and activate it at once. Could it have happened? Sure. If you were going by percentage, in my head, I was like, I think we're good for a while. And I also thought we were going to lose, because that was the trajectory we were on. And all of a sudden, I vote out Voce, and it was like, oh my God, oh, everybody's like, oh, that was so stupid. It was so stupid. Yeah. And then you start winning. And not because we didn't have Voce, just because we started to do really well. And his idol's not activated for like a while. So it's like, we made a good move. It worked out. Could it have been a shit show? Like, yeah. And that's Voce's argument. But like, that's not what happened. So, you can't go like that. He thinks he would have been super loyal to me, and he might have been, but it's just the way the cards fell. I knew we were girls strong, and we had the numbers.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Once you're 3 girls and 2 guys, or 3 girls and 3 guys, and 1 can't vote, you're screwed. So like, it's, it wasn't really that much of it. It was really playing with fire for that 1 vote, that his next vote was going to be, it was going to, activate, and he was going to do something crazy. Like, it was kind of, I think it was in my favor that it wasn't going to happen. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So just ask the hypothetical, like, let's just say Xander does, he takes Heather. Let's say he takes Heather and Deshawn, and then fights Erica himself in fire, and let's just say he wins that. So it's Xander, Deshawn, and Heather in final 3. Just if you had to guess, who do you think you would have voted for, and who do you think would have won?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think at that point, Deshawn might have then rallied some votes, and I think there would have been like a very close between Deshawn and Xander. I think at that point that would have been a really tough match, because I don't know that the people on the Black Alliance would have gone for Xander over Deshawn. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would have been a race to the finish to see, for sure.
Interesting.
But you know what? I don't blame him for not going to fire. I said this in another podcast. Like, if I'm making it to the end, I'm so freaking happy I'm at the end. I'm like not playing with fire, literally. Like, I don't think I would, unless it was like I was with my ride or die, and I had to, instead of not taking her with me, I go to fire with her and like just make it a crazy, amazing show. Like, but that's a lot of money to like hang your hat on and be like, let me just be super, like a superstar and do this. No, I probably wouldn't have. But for him and his game and what was happening, that was probably one of the only ways. Or if he took Deshawn and went to fire with Deshawn, like one of those weird things,
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. They think it would have been close.
Yeah. Do you wish, because I think one of the complaints from like fans watching that I saw was, and again, like you said, we saw, I don't know what percentage of Final Tribal Council we actually saw, but I'm sure it's probably less than 50 by a good bit.
Yeah.
Um, one of the complaints with fans that I noticed was people saying, "Oh, there's so much that Xander did, especially pre-merge, that he didn't mention at all." Like, did he actually mention more move? I think that was like the big complaint was, "Oh, Xander didn't mention all the moves he made." Did he did, and they just didn't focus on that in the edit, or do you
I don't
wish?
understand what moves they're talking about because pre-merge
Mhm.
we were winning. So what moves are you making?
Yeah, I guess they were just referring more to like, I mean, I guess him finding the idol and then,
But he found the idol in the first edit. Like you see it right
yeah,
away. He found it right away. So what
yeah.
moves? Is it the moves where like you're stepping out for Rice when you have an idol and an extra vote? Is it a move when you're, deciding? Well, that's post merge, but I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know what moves everyone's referring to. Social moves, like we're getting rid of you the
I
minute
think
we
the
lose. Like,
I think the fake, and I'm not one of these people, but I think that the big one was the fake out Liana idol move
okay,
thing.
so I'm sure you've heard what that was. That was me and Ebby's plan, 100%, and he
Mhm.
played it out. That's it. What big
Yeah,
moves? I mean, we all pulled that off together, clearly, but actually,
right.
I did say this before, that move where he had that fake island, he told Danny before we did it, I thought that was very dangerous. I didn't think that was smart.
Yeah,
Like, why would you even give him an idea that you had an idea? Like,
right.
and then like, I think he made a real, like, so what you didn't see in the show is when you see Liana come up to those two,
Hmm.
literally her and I had just passed by 2 seconds. I walk away with everything in my possession and she just walks in at the perfect time. That was not an
Yeah.
edit, but what they didn't show you was me passing Liana and being like, what's up? Like being just like
Hmm.
regular. And, did he do good by making a fake idol? Yeah, but everybody makes a fake idol. Everybody has some kind of paper that they stick in their pants to make it look like it just worked out for him because we actually made a move. But
Right.
that was not his move.
Hmm.
So like, I think
Yeah.
here's the problem. I think people really, he's got a very huge fan base and
Hmm.
it's a very, it's niche fan base. And I think they want him to be the winner. And it's like,
Yeah,
so they're trying to find everything to say he should have been the winner. Well, if he should have been, he would have been,
right.
but he wasn't. And so it's like, why it's almost like to the point where like now it's like, hello, somebody won. Like now it's getting obnoxious. Like let this girl have her glory. Like Xander's young, he'll be back. He'll probably win the challenge or something crazy like that. And like he's good. Like he's okay. Like he did great for a 20-year-old first time out there, like in a whole new season. Like,
Hmm.
and it also becomes probably uncomfortable for him to have to keep being like, well, like it's kind of like, all right, let it die. Like, okay, he didn't win. He knows he didn't win. Like it's almost to the point where it's getting like ridiculous. It's like, I feel bad because it's like it keeps opening a wound for a kid who,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
It's got to suck constantly hearing like, oh, I should have won. And then it gets
Absolutely.
into your psyche. Oh, maybe I should have won. It's like you must be going back and forth in your head. Like, oh, I should have won. Well, maybe I shouldn't have won. Or he didn't win. He
Right.
didn't win. If
Mhm.
you can't look at a whole jury and say you all messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as many people are saying he should not have won.
Right.
Hmm.
But,
Yeah.
everybody loves to talk about how Xander should have won. Like
Right.
he won in my eyes. He won a whole hell of a lot being on this season.
Yeah.
He's a smart cookie. He's going to do great. And that's fine. But like, I just didn't see it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's not personal. It's not personal. He's a great kid. He didn't do anything to me. In the game, do I wish he would have done stuff for me? Sure, but that's normal. That's not I hate you. I love the kid. He's a great kid. But like,
Right.
I'm not bitter. There's not one part of me that is upset with him. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just,
Well,
it's odd.
what's interesting about Xander is like, and I obviously don't know. I've talked to him a little bit, but obviously don't like know him at all. But it seems like the fans, like his fans, have such a more like angry and passionate reaction to him not winning than he is. Like it seems like he's kind of
100%.
over it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it seems like he is
100%.
he's over
his
it,
fans are like, I'm getting like, because I called him performative, and I shouldn't have called him performative because that's not really what it was what I meant, but I could have said it in a better way.
Yeah.
And Evie saying eye rolly, being like, oh, of course he's gonna do this. Like that was such a better way to say it. And I just but somebody like called me a performative bitch on Twitter the other day, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude. And this is like a singer, apparently, like a country singer. Like he's actually like a part. And I wrote something finally. I was like, you know what? I'm going to requote to it. I'm going to take a page out of Sydney's book and I'm going to quote tweet this. And now he's blocked me. But anyway, yeah.
You lost.
But,
If you block somebody, you lose. Like you lose the argument.
Right. So he blocked me. I'm like, oh, not a good look for somebody who's like in the public eye, dude.
Right.
Like, but it's like these fans are like freaking pissed. And it's like, Xander himself is like moving on with his life, jumping out of planes, developing apps, being, good looking young guy in college. Like they're so angry. And he's like, whatever. Like I'm moving forward now. Like they don't let it die. Like, and you're right. There's like this undertone of like angry. And it's like, why did you guys out there? Like, it's just, I just find it so interesting. And like, I've never been like angry at any vote watching Survivor. Like if you're that affected by it, you have to like recheck yourself in life. Like what's happening? Why does this make you so angry? Like you need to like reprioritize what's going on in your life that you're so angry about this. Like he's not. He's okay. So like you love him so much, then be supportive of what he's doing now and keep it moving. Stop just reopening that wound for somebody. Like enough. So that's just where I stand with it.
Well, another thing too is I do think that some of the blame for that might go to like the edit itself, because I do feel like Erica was like I like Erica as a winner. I wouldn't say she's like top 10 one of the greatest of all time winners, but like I do feel like her edit was a little under edited for a winner. And I feel like there's like this ever since Devon's, I feel like he introduced this new thing that people were referring to as like the decoy winner, kind of like what's her name, Lauren became in season 39. You can even say Lucina might have filled that role a little bit. Some people are like, no way, Tony's winning this. I think Sarah has a better shot just because she was a little more low key. It feels like it's like a new type of person. Is like they edit it to make it look like, oh, this is the person of the season, and then that person doesn't win. So I do think that the edit might have somewhat to blame. But
yeah, here's the thing with an edit, right? They have to tell a story, and they also are a TV show, and they know who's a young, good-looking kid, and who's going to get viewers, and who's like, there's a lot that goes into this. Clearly, some of which we know, some of which we can guess, some of which we don't know. But like, they're telling a story, and it was very heavily Xander favored. And for whatever reason they chose to do it, But I'm not sure that there's a theory behind it, that he was a decoy vote. I just think that he was there for so long to the end, obviously, that they have to show his story, and his story spans. But yes, Erica was there long too. Unfortunately, Erica's tribe was winning everything, and so they got no airtime like we did when we lost in the beginning. Yasa had such a great arc because we lose, so there's that. So there's a lot of Yasa. You get to know us a bit, and then then now we're going to merge, and now we're the tribe that everybody wants to see go good, and then we become a shit show, and Liana flips, and it's like, here we go, and now we're falling apart, and Xander's able to stay there for whatever reason. And so he sort of still manages to be in that edit all the way through. And I think you're dealing with some of that. And then of course, for whatever reason, CBS wants to edit using, maybe they like his story, or they like who knows why they do what they do, but I can guess. And I think that fans are always trying to figure out, like, watch the freaking show and stop trying to figure out who wins. Like, whatever happened to watching a show and just being surprised every Wednesday night? Like, it's like become this thing where people are like, oh, I'm gonna make this. Sometimes I don't think it's really, there's not that much to it. Like, okay, this person didn't have that much creative content that we could have used. So you know what? They're just not getting a very long edit. Like, sometimes it's just that. Or sometimes it's like Tiffany made a freaking ass out of herself on the bounce beam, and we're gonna make that like this major thing, and she can take it because she can. And like, so you don't really, nobody knows. And it's kind of like, and maybe they're just like telling a story, and maybe there's not like this deep inner meaning. I don't know. I'm probably wrong because there's Edgic and all the other things. But like at some point, I think they're now, the editing department is probably like, oh, now we need to keep them on their toes. I think the bottom line is they want you to be surprised no matter what. And the more you say, oh, it's Xander, because now they're going to watch 42 and look for the one person that you see the entire way, and they're going to be like, oh, he's definitely not winning. Well, they're going to switch that shit up on you now. Like,
right.
Duh. Like this is what's fun about it, right? Like,
right.
Being surprised that like, oh, Tiffany's a shit show. You should have read what they were writing about me on Reddit. It was like, she's terrible, worst player in history. All of a sudden, I'm winner pick. Okay. On Reddit, like what happened, like all of a sudden they love me, and I'm like, but I think they just really met me as a person. Like, this is who I am. I'm very silly. I have a very serious side too, but like, I like to have fun. I think they got to see that about me, and like, and maybe they backtracked a little, like, oh, it's because I was so shitty on that balance beam. But like, also, I wasn't eating and I wasn't sleeping, and you know what? It's freaking hard. Okay. And maybe I shouldn't have done the balance beam because, it wasn't a good look, but whatever. I made up for it.
Right.
Did I not?
After the balance beam, who would have guessed that, y'all go on this winning streak and Ua just completely combusts.
That's
right.
You
start hitting shots too.
Everyone. Did you see? I got everyone for that.
I did. Yeah. I do remember. Because I know in our recap, we came back and, the edit wasn't doing you, a lot of good with the bounce beam and all that stuff. And then I know me and Adam came on, we were like, Tiffany actually did that. And we were like, what the heck?
I did a lot. I did.
Yeah.
They did. One of the things that's so funny is like, this is when you say it's like Xander edited, like, so when we were doing, he did a lot of work, obviously, for the rings, like, pushing all those things that we all did, having to cross that shit show of a string and whatever else. But when we got the key, Xander was up and he couldn't open the lock. So he flipped it to me. I opened the lock and I landed the first ring. They don't show me really like Xander giving me the lock to open it. You know what I mean? And it's funny that they left certain things out. Like I landed a sandbag, but I think I landed 2 actually. And they just showed 1. And then I believe so. And then, the whole me getting all the balls up, they were focused on Heather failing and making her a hero when I was failing on the bounce beam and they made an ass out of me. So it's like, it's amazing that people were able to see through the edit and be like, well, Tiffany's actually doing stuff. So I'm sitting watching going, please Reddit, please Discord, please any podcasters say that I'm doing well, because like I was doing fine. Like I was actually getting those challenges done with Xander. So, it's so annoying as a viewer when you're like on the show, because you're like, holy crap, can somebody just come to my defense? And it's like, sometimes yes, sometimes no. But like, sure, it was one of those things where like, you're just like, you never know how your edit's going to be. And it's like, hopefully they'll see it.
But you controlled your edit a little bit, and I wanted to talk about this. One of my favorite moments on the show was when I think you might be the first person to break the fourth wall in the show with another person there, when you kept looking at the camera making faces while Xander was lying to you.
Okay. So here's what's funny. Like you forget you're like being videotaped the whole time, but that's something like I would do at work, right? Like somebody would say something to me and my friend would be in front of me and I'd be like, really? Or somebody would be talking to my friend and I'd be like behind their back. Like I'm one of those, like brutal, like funny, but like that's me. And the camera's there and he's really like, I'm going to show you this. And if I could have vomited right there, I probably would have, but instead I was like, yeah, right. Like, but it was to the camera because the cameraman was right there, but it was really me to like myself, but like it translated. It was the weirdest thing. And it wasn't like I had nobody there to be like, oh yeah, that happened, except for the camera person. And they showed it, which was so crazy. And in this eye rolling craziness, like took the internet by storm, and they were like, oh my God, the eye rolls. But like, yeah, I don't think that if they've ever really done that. So
no, they haven't.
I was pretty shocked myself because it became like people were dying over it. And that was just, it really showed my personality in some ways. Cause like I was so onto him. I'm like a New Yorker. You think I don't know what you have in your bag? Like you think I didn't have everybody tell me what you were carrying? Like I knew what's going on. And so
Yeah.
it was very cool that they showed it because like they had made me look so stupid in the first one when they were like, Tiff, this is how it works. I literally saw it with my own eyes. And I know that I was being a pain in the ass with her. But the thing was that I knew also that she had tight things with everybody, Evie. And I knew that they were really trying to make me see how this idol worked. But I wasn't even listening because I was so hell bent on getting Boche out at that point because my name kept me throwing out and it was supposed to be Liana as the decoy. And I was getting freaking pissed because I was like, this is so bullshit. Like you have all these, you have freaking Voce, you have Xander in your corner, you have Liana in your corner. I know I'm your ride or die, but like, I know you have finals with everybody. Just give me this. Let me see. Because Voce is saying my name now. So if he's saying my name, I want him out. And and if you have Xander, then I know I'm cool with Xander because he's not going to betray you and you're not betraying me and Liana. So let's get rid of Oche because he might actually do something. So, at the end of the day, like I wasn't as stupid. I mean, literally and that was a new idol. We've never seen something so stupid like that where you have to activate it with 3 stupid sayings that like, when did that happen? Right. It was new. So like, I wasn't buying it. And they actually made me look as stupid as I was, but like it was bad. And so that eye rolly thing really kind of made up for it because it was like, oh, she's in the know. She knows what the hell she's talking about. So, that was better for me.
Why didn't Voce go home with the first vote? Why was it Abraham?
Oh, because Abraham, okay, so what they didn't show you that Abraham was after Voce and Xander worked really hard to get us the flint and the pot. Abraham was like, all right, let me do the fire. Instead of like letting Xander or like Voce do the fire, like after they just like did this whole big thing, right? And he broke the flint. He broke the flint immediately. And everyone was like, what the just happened? Like he broke the flint. And he had been throwing my name out for nothing. And he says it. Like he was just throwing me under the bus because I went in the water first, which by the way, I jumped in the water because somebody said jump in the water. And I did. And I got all the paddles except for one because at that point I was freaking dying. I couldn't breathe. And I'm like watching these guys still not get the last paddle.
It's Paddlegate. It was the same color as the boat. It's not fair for y'all.
I was like, forget it. I know under the yellow shit, like forget it. And so I just let it go because I was like, we're losing anyway at this point. Like I'm going to die to like get this last paddle. Like F that. I just had to hike myself into this boat myself, which was, by the way, impossibly hard. And so I was like, I'm not doing it. Look, I'm not getting it. So he threw my name out just because he thought that he could. Because he was like, well, she was already in the boat, like doing nothing. Dude, I was not doing nothing. I had just gotten all the paddles into the boat and made sure that if we found the last paddle, we were ready to go. Like, and so, and there was other stuff that was not shown in the edit that did contribute to, him sort of just being a little off-putting. And it was an easy vote. Which hindsight, Voce and Xander probably should never have agreed to.
Yeah.
No, they didn't know the all-consuming Women Alliance was coming.
Yeah, and that Women Alliance came together really quickly. But yeah, so once that happened, it was like, 3 girls to 2 guys. It was like, here we go. Like, as a player, you are going with the numbers if you're in the beginning of the game, right? Because you don't want to rock that boat yet. Like, I'm going where the numbers are. You want to be an all girls alliance? Who am I to say not to be an all girls alliance? Which is not what I wanted. I didn't want to do that. I was willing to work with anybody, but it's how it played out for me. And I think it was to my benefit.
Right. I know. I remember being a little nervous at first because, like I said, we drafted our teams, and we each kind of had like who's our male winner pick, female winner pick, and I had like you and Ricard were like my 2 winner picks. So of course, when your tribe was the first to go to tribal council, I was like a little worried at first, but like it reminded me like one thing because I was rereading your like meet the cast thing earlier this morning, and I remember one of the questions they asked you was like, "How do you think people would perceive you?" And you had like a pretty long, I guess, description of how you thought people would perceive you on the islands. Like how I was curious, like how close do you like were you right for the most part, or like how close do you think you came to, or was your reaction like, oh, this isn't how I expected it, or was it pretty on par?
About how people perceived me?
Yeah, or like how you expected people to perceive you. What did it?
Well, I'm loud,
Mm,
and funny, and
yes.
you know, just because I'm not because I'm saying I'm funny because I'm being patting myself on the back, but just from what people tell me and reactions I get. So I knew that they would know I was loud, but they were really like, I was like a lot for them. I was intimidatingly loud. Like it was too much. And I forgot to think, hey, these are not all New Yorkers playing. They're not used to like, and a New Yorker, like a Jewish mom New Yorker is like another level, right? So and I'm really another level to begin with. So like I didn't expect them to be as intimidated, sort of in a weird way. They're like, you're just loud. Like she's loud, but they all wanted to meet me. They all were like, I couldn't wait to meet you. Like, so they appreciated it. Heather did not. Heather, when I got to the island, Sydney was like, yeah, she does not like you. And then she was like, and I think it was because I was like an older lady also, but a different kind of, more like intimidatingly loud. And, maybe I was a threat to her because we were in the same like genre, but like, so she did not appreciate that. Then she started to like me when she met me. And that's always been like my specialty. The more you don't like me, the more I'm going to make you love me by the end of this. That's always been my like thing. So yeah, I mean, I think they perceived me as I thought they would, loud, but eventually if you're with me long enough, you're going to love me. But but there are those one or two people that just hate my guts. It's like, they exist. And I happen to have definitely seen a little bit of that in one or two, folks out there. And I was like, I don't see this that much, but when I do, I know I'm screwed. So because they're like, oh, I get this chick. She's a threat. People are going to like her. Oh, she's talking to Danny for 2 hours. F that. She's out. Like, and or very strong like me, we have a strong sense of self, and that's always intimidating. So like, but my bio was something to be reckoned with, because I said I don't brush my teeth at night, and I said I don't wash my face, and it didn't come off as it was supposed to. I don't like brushing my teeth before bed. It wakes me up and it annoys me, but I just wrote it like that. And you don't know how many messages I've gotten from people like, yo, I'm so happy you said that because I hate brushing my teeth before bed. Or people like, low key, I don't brush my teeth before bed. I'm like, well, if you thinking it, I'm saying it, right? I don't give a shit. And then like the washing your face. No, I am not the woman who has 65 face washes and like a cleanser and a toner. And there goes my whole career, right? For like influencer, right? Because I don't do that shit. But like, I don't wash my face like that. So like, I don't wash my face. Like I don't have a routine. Like I'm not like a girly girl like that. I'm a girly girl when like with some things, but I'm not like a routine person. I'm terrible with like things like that. So like that's what I meant. But if people like, ew, she's just disgusting. I was like, what? I'm really not disgusting. And like I am super clean and whatever. But do I love having been on the island? I have to brush your teeth, wash your face, shower, blow your hair out, get dressed, figure out what to wear. Hell fucking yes, I loved it. I hate doing that shit. Like it's today. I was like, oh, I was downstairs. I worked out. I'm like 3:30. Shit, I gotta like shower and like put a little makeup on or something. And then I was like, oh, I'll just throw a hat on and like a little lip gloss. I was like, because it's time consuming, and I could be like cooking or building something or doing something crazy that I enjoy doing. So, like I love to look nice at night and go out and do things like that, but like also I don't. So there's that. So yeah, I'm not really shocked with how anybody perceives me at all.
Yeah. It seems like since the season has ended, you've been one of, if not the person who like we see on Instagram and stuff, like continually interacting with people. I know you've said a couple of times just in this talk alone. That like you've talked to Voce recently and Sarah recently. So it seems like you've talked with I don't want to say all, but like most of your cast. But so like actually everyone we've talked to so far, we've asked like who do you in contact with the most. I think everyone we've talked to so far, you're the only name that's come up every time. So like who would you say are like the 2-3 people that you talk to like the most? And also if we've been asking everyone this, if you were gonna play Amazing Race with one person from your cast, who would you pick? And you could pick for strategic reasons or personal reasons, whatever you want the criteria to be.
So I mean, I guess you're asking who I speak to the most. I speak to Voce every single day, and pretty much Evie, we are in contact at least, if it's not text, it's talking. If it's not talking, it's FaceTime at least every day, or every other at the most.
Yeah.
I check in with Leon. Those are the 2 people I speak to the most, followed by Sarah, and check in with, and Danny. I speak to Danny a lot. So there's a lot of them. And some of it is that, and Sarah and Sydney and like Erica. I speak to Erica a lot. Some of it is that like, there's this like, I don't know what it is. It's me. People like to tell me their things and I give advice and, like I'm just, I don't know what it is, but anyway.
You're a good conversationalist.
Maybe that's it. And I'm also like wildly outrageous. So like, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So if you need like a good conversation with somebody, you never know what's going to happen when you're on the phone with me. But yeah, so Amazing Race, my dog, I think if I were to do the Amazing Race, oh God. So I would say Evie, but Evie would definitely do it with her girlfriend. So that's out. Hold on, let me just see if my husband needs to. I don't know if I locked him out. Oh no, he's just taking snow. I'm sorry, this is going to be annoying for a minute.
Oh, good.
What? Oh, I have to get him the car key. Can you give me a second?
Yeah.
Yes.
No worries. Okay. Gideon, would you play Amazing Race with me?
No. Yeah. I wouldn't play Survivor with you though. I'd vote you out so fast.
Dude, I would never do like a blood versus water season.
Here you go.
Even if it was like friends,
Hey, move.
like
yeah,
I would definitely abuse my friend.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm being a wife now.
Okay.
So
good.
So I would say Evie, but I know she wants to do it with her girlfriends.
Okay.
I would say Voce, but we'd kill each other. As far as like personalities, probably Danny and I would be a really good match for Amazing Race. And then also, season 42 people, we have to meet them because maybe there's someone good for me on that one for Amazing Race. Maybe like a cross thing. So yeah, I would maybe say Danny would be a really good pick for me.
Someone we've interviewed so far has said picked you for their person. Any guess who it is? So far we've talked to Nasir, Abraham, Sydney, Sarah. I think you're, and then yeah. So of those 4,
Nasir, Sarah, Abraham.
It was Sydney.
Oh well, okay. So I was gonna say Sydney for Amazing Race with me too, but I heard her the other day, and so I didn't pick her because I think that her and I laugh hysterical together, and we'd be great for Amazing Race together as far as stories. But I think she would do it with Sarah.
Okay.
I think that's what she said recently. Her and I were talking about doing it together, and I would absolutely do it with her. But I wouldn't want to do it with her over her wanting to do it with Sarah because Sarah's like younger, and she might that might be a very cool story too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would totally do it with Sydney. Yeah.
Okay.
We laughed our asses off on that island.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We laughed. It was like when I met her, I was like, it could have gone 2 ways because I was like, either I'm going to hate this girl or I'm going to love her. And because we're like similar in a weird way. I'm outrageous one way. She's outrageous a totally different way. But we would laugh. Like when I met her and we actually got together, I was like, oh, thank God. There is somebody I could be so inappropriate with right now. And just, we can laugh. I don't have to worry about anything. And we were in the shelter. I thought people were going to freaking kill us. We were so.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Hysterically laughing. It was the best. And when she left, I was like, no, my inappropriate laughter friend at night after like everyone goes to sleep and wants to kill us. But me and Evie too, we laughed like crazy. And that's the other thing. They did not show you how close Evie and I were. Like you saw it, but we were so close. We were like ride or dies. So it was weird because we were so close, and I love her so dearly. But yeah, so I would absolutely do it with Sydney if she would want to, versus wanting to do it with Sarah, and who would think that a better story would be there. You know, I don't get offended by anything, give a shit. You know, but
well, she picked you when we asked, so.
And it depends when you ask. Did you ask her like how long ago did you talk to her?
2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Week or two.
Well, since then she said she would. I wonder if it was your podcast where she said it was me, but she would pick me, but probably end up doing it with Sarah. Wasn't it you guys?
No. Yeah, she did. She said you, and I was like, I my response was, well, I thought you'd pick Sarah, and she said, I feel like it would more likely be me and Sarah, but she thought strategically you guys would work better. But she also said that what you said, that you guys were fun together and made each other laugh a lot.
Oh, yeah.
She was kind of torn between you two, but
yeah. So that's what it would be. So for me, it would definitely be like a torn situation. Like well, originally we really definitely talked about it. We were like, you want to do The Amazing Race? Like that would be super cool and fun. We have a very good relationship when we laugh constantly, and she's super, super smart. Sydney, she's a very, very smart girl.
Yeah.
And you know, she's definitely like me, we both just like fly by the seat of our pants. She flies a lot more than I do. She's everywhere. But
probably more than the president.
What?
I said she probably flies more than the president.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. But also, you know, I've done a lot of traveling, but not quite like her. But yeah, so I would definitely do it with Sydney. And as far as like somebody to balance me, I would say Danny's a good balance for me. But yeah, and there's so many people that I could think of that I would just love being with, but Sydney's definitely one of them that we definitely did discuss that. So
yeah.
But if she wants to do it with Sarah, look, we're talking like we were asked to do this. Nobody was asked to do this. This is like an if thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to take somebody over, you know, because I'm the one that you can like shit on. I don't care.
Well, so question we've been asking everybody. From the moment you got the phone call that you were going to be on the season, up until this point right here, if we consider that your Survivor journey thus far, because really it seems like it doesn't end when you leave Fiji. It seems like
Survivor it just gets
yeah. But over the course of that journey, what would you say has been the highest high and the lowest low so far?
I am going to say that the lowest low is probably when you see how mean people can be on social media and showing like to the younger kids. Like, I don't like that. I am not here for that. I don't like hate, and I don't appreciate it. And I'm very funny and very silly, but I don't appreciate hate. So the lowest low is seeing how ugly people can be. The highest high has been the amazing family family in all aspects, podcasters, writers, other players, the CBS community, and my co-cast. That family it's like it's like a fraternity sorority that you never knew you needed in your life. And it's just been so fun. If you're a people person, you love this, like having all of these new connections and people that are really there for you. And the highest highs has just been like every day it's like a new text message or a new something, and it's exciting. It doesn't end. It just doesn't end. And it like keeps going in its own little way. Like, so that's been the highest high, you know?
Right.
All of it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's definitely like one of those things where you can see people go on the show and afterwards their entire lives become about going back, you know, because it's like a drug that you can't even explain. Like, and you just want to go back. It's just, I'm so fortunate and blessed and thankful that I had the chance to actually go out there once. Got, you know, twice would be like, I don't even know. Things like that never happened to me. So like, you know, twice would be like, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. But like, am I going to make my whole life about getting back on Survivor? No, I'm taking that experience and I'm going forward with my life, and I'm going forward with new friends and new people by my side, which is really, really nice. Cause you know, it's nice to get to know different people and different perspectives, and you're out of your like little circle of people that you once knew, and it becomes this much bigger family. It's very nice. It's very nice.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, do you have time for a very quick fun game we like to play with our contestants?
Sure. Is this going to be one word association that's going to get me in trouble again? Because I'm really in a good place with everybody right now.
It's not that.
It
is a game. I don't know if you've ever seen the YouTube show called Hot Ones, but we somewhat copied it from them. It is a game called Explain That Graham, where we go on your Instagram. We have 3 posts from I think 2 pre-Survivor, 1 post Islands. If you could just explain to us like when and where that was taken, if there's a story behind the post. What exactly we're seeing. Yeah. So we got 3 for you.
Go for it.
Gideon, you can pop them up as you Gideon has them on his screen.
First one. Playing tennis.
Yeah, I'm a tennis player. So that was right before that. I didn't know I was going to be on Survivor there because I had, it was during pandemic. No, maybe it was post-pandemic. I don't know what the date is on that. Last summer, 2 summers ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I had a lesson with a guy who was on the court just to freshen up, And then I posted it just to show that I was doing tennis again. I don't know.
Jack, you've got quite the backhand.
It's good, right? My backhand sucks. That's why I posted it, because I think I wanted my dad to see my backhand was so crazy when it's usually like the worst. So I don't know. I like figured out a new technique. So I think that was me showing that I figured out a new thing. Yeah.
Have you ever played Sydney in tennis? I heard
but she'd probably kick my ass. Are you kidding?
I heard she's quite the player.
No, she's definitely the player, and I am not. I was in the heyday, but not now. No.
Well, hey, we are so once it gets warm, we're playing Dean Kowalski in basketball. Sydney has agreed to play us in table tennis, so we'll have to set up a tennis match at some point.
Okay. I'll join you in table tennis too. But she seems like she's crazy, like crazy table tennis. I don't know.
Yeah, she did it in
We're
college.
Gonna get stomped.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be
like
2-on-1.
Jack of all trades, that girl. She's like super everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. That's my birdie. That's my stepbrother's wife's sister's bird. That was in the backyard of my stepbrother's house in Long Island this past summer, and I was playing with it.
What's its name?
Cute?
Yeah.
Kingston.
Oh, Kingston. Okay. Yeah.
That's Kingston.
Its claws are in your shoulder. That looks painful.
It wasn't. I mean, I never like hung out with a bird like that. It was weird. You like walk it and feed it and like hang out with it. It's like weird.
What do you know? What type of bird? It wasn't a parrot, was it?
I think I'm the worst. Look it up. I tag it. It says Kingston something. You can follow it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Nice.
That's Kingston.
I think it might be a parrot.
It's a parrot.
Just a guess, Adam. Just a guess. You look up the word parrot. That's what shows up.
It's a parrot. It's a parrot. I knew that.
So it talked. It said words.
It does talk. Yeah.
Okay.
It does talk. Yeah, it does. It didn't say my name, and but it does talk. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
It's very cool.
My friend has a parrot, and he's like a movie producer guy. So every time he's around the parrot, he's just on phone calls for business deals with films. And the only words the parrot knows is like production or like film set. It's just it only can speak film language.
So was this your segue to say that he thinks I'd be a great movie star and he's going to put me on some crazy film that I don't even know exists yet? Is that where you were going with this?
That's exactly where I was going.
That's what I thought. I thought. Yeah. Yep. At 48 years old, I am a breakout TV star.
That's right.
Hey, Morgan Freeman didn't get his first role till he was 46, I think.
Oh,
So
well, then there's hope.
yeah, absolutely.
There's
Is,
hope. Give
is
him my
there?
number. Tell him I'm free.
I
Like
will.
2:30 on Monday through Fridays. Okay,
Uh,
let's see
is there
what this
one
next
more?
one is.
Yeah, there's one more. Oh, there it is.
Hawaii.
You found an idol.
I found an idol that's in Hawaii. I was there in November, with my husband and his brother and sister, and it was a little Hawaiian escape. I just couldn't say I was there yet, and that's me with my idol that I found.
Yep.
Nice.
Two idols, one picture, as one comment said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the comments. The comments make me laugh, and I also am the worst on social media. And by the way, that Thai restaurant is fabulous. I'm not Thai, the ramen noodle place. You need to go there.
Which one? Where is it?
It's on my Instagram. You can see I tagged them Mr. something,
Okay.
Takiman or something. So good. So good. You need to go.
Mr. Taka Ramen.
It was so good. The pork in that thing was like nothing I've ever tasted in my life. I'm not kidding.
Where is it?
Village,
Oh,
I
okay.
think. Yeah.
Nice.
Now,
Yeah.
did you need a clue to find that idol?
No, I didn't. It was like that one was big enough for me to see, even without my glasses on.
There you go.
Listen, I'm happy I didn't find that freaking idol. That idol. Every advantage came with a disadvantage this season.
Right.
I was like, I don't want the advantage with the disadvantage. I just need advantages.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Damn it, I should have won.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, Gideon, what's our we have a final question we ask everyone we interview. I'm sure you've never been asked this question once.
Are you
I'd be
coming back?
surprised.
Will you come back, please?
To your podcast?
No. To the game of Survivor.
Should I play hard to get and say no? Never again?
Never again.
No, I'm not saying that. See, now that's going to go viral and they're going to be like, this bitch doesn't want to play again. Would I come back? Listen. Yes. Anybody who tells you that they wouldn't is full of shit. Of a whole big ton of shit. So yes, I would come back. Do I think I'm in the mix for that? I don't know. Like there's so many people who played this game before me and that people love and want back. I don't know. It depends what type of, how they were going to choose these next people. But I would definitely come back.
I'd say you got a shot. You have a lot of Seely stands,
I apparently I'm like some sort of like
icon.
Some sort of like little cult following.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Who knew?
It happens. It just happens to like 2-3 people every season. They just get that kind of like.
They get that cult following. That's those stands. They get stand pages. I swear, during the season, every single fan page of Survivor had you or Ricard as their profile picture, literally the whole time.
Do you know that happened to me? Okay, so I'm not a huge like social media person. I'm much better now. Like now I know what Instagram is and like Twitter and everything else, which I never knew what it was. Everybody made so much fun of me, but like. I saw my picture as somebody's profile and I was like,
yes,
what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
I never saw that before. I was like, what's going on? So that was pretty fun. I have a nice little following of great people and, good. I love it. I'm here for that. So they want to bring me back. Listen, Adam, Gideon, get on it. Let everybody know, free agent here, free agent. Any show except for like 90 Day Fiance or like,
one of the dating shows.
I'd even do Below Deck if they wanted me to like get my license in working on a boat. I'm here for it. I love it. New experiences, super fun. But yeah, I would definitely do Survivor first over anything.
That's good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. You were during the season at first, like pre-merge, everybody was labeling you, the Kingslayer, like, yes, Tiffany, get those men off the island, so it was good.
Listen, let's just say this. I did not go in playing some sort of, I'm going to get all the men off game. In fact, it should have been the complete opposite for me, like keep them in and, try to play some kind of like cutesy game, but like I'm too old for that. So that's over. But, I thought maybe I had a shot at that. I totally didn't. But, who knew that like my entire tribe added up, if you add their numbers, like their ages together, I was like older than all three of them together. Like that's depressing, right?
Jeez.
Like yeah, it's the struggle is real. But yeah, so listen, if there's going to be another time I play it, there's not going to be any kind of, I'm going with feeling, like how I feel about you, and I'm not going in with a strategy like that. That's number one. Number two, if they're going to call me to play again, they better do it soon before I'm like too old to play, right? So get on that phone call.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, everyone's trying to figure out like, when would it be? When would it be? So who knows? Who knows? I think we're headed for another 2 newbie seasons. So
yeah. Well, we still hope to see you back, Tiffany, and we really enjoyed having you on today. Everybody watching, make sure to go give Tiffany a follow on Instagram, her socials. Those will be in the description of the video. Go be a part of the Seely stands, because if you're missing out if you're not.
Yeah, I did it.
Yep. Oh, me and Adam, we're your biggest fans. You're definitely our favorite from the season. We love watching you.
You heard it, Adam.
Yeah. At first we were like, yeah, at the beginning, but after that balance beam, we were like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Has she replaced Voce as your favorite?
Gideon. Okay, you don't have to say it. I'm gonna let you be Voce. I'm gonna share.
Voce has no other stand. I feel like I'm the only one.
No, you're not. Bloomberg loves him too.
Then it's just me and Bloomberg, because literally nobody.
Okay, Gideon, you can keep Voce. I'm okay with that. It's just because I love him too, so it's cool.
Yes, exactly. I can be a stan of multiple people. It's fine.
You can, but secretly I know you love me more. It's fine. It's fine. It's just between you and I and whoever listens to this podcast.
All right. Nobody watching. Nobody tell Voce.
Nobody's gonna tell Voce.
Nobody tell on me. Okay.
No one's gonna tell on you, Gideon. It's your secret is safe with me and 6 million other people.
All right. Sounds good to me. Well, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate y'all. Go check out all the links in the description. Subscribe if you want. Please do. And like this video, comment what you thought. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you later for who's next, Adam?
Voce.
So we'll see you soon with Voce. Maybe he can try to get me to be a fan of him once again, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's gonna blow me up a little. It's fine. It's what he does.
Yep. Maybe we'll see. I'm excited. Well, thank you guys for watching.